And that was The Toll, taken from Jordan Merrick's debut album, Night Music.
What a record.
And now we're back with Aiden Bradley.
Hey, Aiden.
Hi.
Oh, what a record, though.
It is such a good record. I'm so proud of Jordan.
Yeah,
He did something real good.
I reckon.
You-
Speaking... Yeah,
Yeah,
sorry, Ross.
you did really good too.
Thank you.
Mm.
Yeah, well, you're just coming off your big release weekend.
Yes.
Of a collaborative EP, Low Key High Strung.
Yes. Low-key high strung.
And you were working on this for over a year.
Yeah, it from start to finish, including the writing, because I started writing it when I was on tour last year. Probably about a year and a half.
Oh my God.
Time well spent, though, I feel.
Even like going back from the original recordings, how long would that have been on top of that as well?
How do you mean? Like,
From like the remixing of like Boat Ramps. Was it always the idea to do it with this EP? Or
like
was
the collab thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. I from like day dot, from like starting to make music, I did always want to sort of sit down and make a record with a bunch of my friends. It was just, time. Like it was a big endeavor, because there's 7 of us on the record in total. So scheduling for it was a nightmare.
Yeah.
Like an absolute nightmare. And like, way back when it was, I think, December that Lily and I started recording Mess Things Up, even that was like just trying to get her free for a day to just be like, I just need you to come over and sing for like 3 hours. And then doing that, and then trying to get on with, finishing off the songs and sort of getting people in. And I mean, I guess the saving grace was that like no one that I pitched to said no. So I got to work with literally everyone that I wanted, which was awesome.
And so when you were writing these songs, did you know each person, each feature you wanted, like straight away, pretty much?
With a couple of them I did.
Yeah.
So like with Mess Things Up, it had to be Lily. If it
Sure.
wasn't going to be Lily, then it wasn't going to be on the record.
Mm.
Same thing with Ignore Me. Like it had to be Alex. If it wasn't Alex, then I would have written a different song and pitched it to a different person. Like, and then because Under Siege it came very late into the production. It was a bunch of people always sort of told me that Siege would have made a great backing for a rap track. And then I think like by the time my friend Ty said it to me at finally when I broke, and I was like, you know what? And then I messaged Russell. I was like, do you want to rap over Siege? And he was like, yes, I do.
What elements of it do you think made it such a good hip hop beat?
Well,
I'd say rap beat. Hip hop beat's a bit different in style.
Okay, I'm sorry. I think I don't know. I definitely never wrote it with that in mind. But I mean, listening back to it, there are a couple nice breaks in there. There's a couple nice breaks, and I guess the bass is always sort of super consistent. Like the bass and kick are like very, very interlocked in that song, unlike like Stupid Things, where the bass is a bit more free. There's a lot more sort of like bass fills.
Sure.
The bass is a lot more melodic in something like Stupid Things, whereas it's just a hard rhythmic element in Siege. And I think, that sort of lends itself really well. Having like that huge kick come in, I think sort of lends itself really well to rap and that sort of thing.
Mm. Did Low Key High Strung have a similar writing process as Boat Ramps did?
Some of it was collaborative.
Yeah, I mean, Parler and Audio Compass both wrote their verses.
But everyone
Yeah,
else
sure.
had their verses written.
Yeah, they did. That being said, like the original melodies that I wrote, they're not the ones that, I think Port Sunday in particular mixed it up a little bit in like a really nice way. It was kind of like with that sort of stuff, it was like, yeah, here's what I'd do. How would you tackle this melody differently? And I just sort of let them do their thing because they know how they can sing a lot better than I can. I can't write in someone else's vocal range. So,
Fair. And what was the first song written for this track? Written for the EP, excluding Under Siege?
Mess Things Up I wrote while I was in Sydney last year on tour. And that was largely just like the riff and sort of like I wrote the verses before I wrote the chorus. And then, sort of just sat down, wrote like 4 or 5 drafts of lyrics and sort of went with the one I thought was the best. And then even then, the original demo, when Tim, my co-producer, got a hold of it, he's like, there's a few things that I really, really want to change. And most of his changes were implemented into the final. And I think it's way better than the original demo I put together.
Fair. And
Of Loki High Strung or Boat Ramp, sorry.
Of Loki High Strung. So yeah, Tim was the main feedback.
Was he
board.
on board for Boat Ramps as well?
No, he wasn't. Boat Ramps was just me. And then after realizing that I really don't want to make another record in isolation, I reached out to him and was like, hey, do you want to work on some of my tracks? And he was very glad to.
Thank you for the segue, Aiden. Speaking of, how did you find working in a more collaborative way for this EP?
It was great. Honestly, it was awesome. I would never work on another record in isolation again. I never would. I loved it. And I mean, part of the reason I loved it was I got to hang out with some really cool people and make music. You know, at the end of the day, it was all done for the joy of making music.
Which is how it should be done.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I got to give some artists like the ultimate privilege for me was the fact that for Parler and Port Sunday, this was their debut. That's the ultimate privilege. You know, nothing comes above that.
True.
In that they trust me and they trust the track enough for it to be the first thing that people hear of them in a professional space. That's I don't think even I realize how much of a privilege that is. You know, what a deep thing that is to trust someone with, because you're giving someone your first impression, you're giving someone the first impression of you.
If I can speak from my own sense, as an interviewee for the moment in joining this, I was really shocked when you asked me to join that collaborative EP, and very surprised as well. But the whole process of working through it with you has actually made me want to go and tackle it all over again, kind of on my own terms, and do it in a way that I can really see myself doing. But I would never had that chance unless you actually helped me to do that song. So thank you very much.
No, that's no problem at all. I mean, I've had a lot of studio experience in my time. I've done a lot
You're
of
a really good producer.
Thank you.
It was really fun as well.
No, making me blush. I've had a lot of tracking, mixing, production experience. And I quite pride myself on making the chillest environment possible. You know, I quite pride myself on having an environment where whatever mistakes you make, no one's going to judge you for it. I'm certainly not going to judge you for it. You know, you build your success on top of the mistakes that you make. Yeah. You can only find out what you don't, how you don't want to write something or how you don't want to perform something by doing it the wrong way and realizing why you don't want to do it like that again. You know, building an environment where people feel supported and people feel like they are not in a space where they could ever be judged for what they're doing, I think is so important, because I think so many artists get that filter up where I don't want to pitch this idea because what if they think it's stupid?
Yeah.
I never want that to be a thing. You know,
it's invaluable, man. I've heard countless stories of people spending a lot of money to go into a studio and then just feeling rushed the whole time. And
absolutely.
Just feeling like the person is getting paid for it, but they don't care.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's the worst position to be in.
Definitely.
You know, it's like when you're looking for a PR rep, right? So during the PR process, right? Money is like a shotgun, right? You can, if a problem comes up, you can just blast it down, right? But your shotgun will run out of ammunition, right? Belief is like a knife, right? It's very easy to use. It's not gonna jam. It's not gonna run out of ammunition. It's a lot more sustainable. You know, belief is such a more important thing to have in the long term.
Yeah.
You know, belief will carry you further than anything else will. If you have a PR rep who doesn't actually believe in the music that you've made and the art that you're trying to push,
no point.
Yeah, you absolutely just go find one that does. Go find one who just vibes with the record that you've made so hard that they want it to succeed on a deeply personal level.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with like a producer and an artist. You know, you should find a producer who likes the same music that you do, likes the stuff that you're making, and genuinely from a personal place wants it to be the best version that it can be. You know, it shouldn't be oh, that guy's had this many Queensland Music Awards under his belt. If I go with that guy, everything's going to be great. No, because if you get some you know, person in their own home studio who just vibes with your tracks so hard, is gonna give you such a better result. Is gonna put so much more work in. Is gonna put so much more time in, and is gonna ultimately help you progress as an artist more.
Yeah.
That's my rant over. I'm sorry.
Jeez. No, of course. Anytime, dude. We welcome your rant.
Emerge home of the rants.
Yeah. At the end of the day of this recording process, would you say there's any one specific lesson that is going to stick with you and that you're going to take on board for the next recording sessions?
Just have fun, man.
Mm.
Just have fun. Doing this stuff is fun. You know, like when we got to the end of our first day, and we finished, we recorded Parla's verses. You know, we just sat back in this little room and we listened to them, and we just laughed.
Mm.
You know, we just had such a great time listening to this thing that I honestly thought was going to be kind of meme-ish. You know, because someone was like, "Yeah, you should turn Siege into a rap track," and then I listened back to it, and I'm like, "Oh my god, it works so well." And it had to be Parla. You know, that's the thing. I was like looking back on the collab EP, you know, like I know I said that like it had to be Lily and it had to be Alex, but it had to be each one of these people.
Yeah.
It had to be Port Sunday. It had to be Lockie. It had to be, you know, Audio. Like it had to be them.
It's so beautiful, man.
Yeah. That's the experience. The experience is the seven of us together.
Yeah.
Like the experience isn't like, this is kind of why I hate singles. You know, I hate the fact that like music is like, oh, release a single, month later, release a single, month later, release
Me
a single.
too, man.
You listen to the EP from start to finish. You get the experience of the seven of us working cohesively as a unit, and I think that's really special.
And you're the beautiful glue.
Oh.
I'll be on show all the stupid things that I have done. The stupid things that I have done.
And that was Stupid Things by Aiden Bradley featuring Lockie Matthews, taken off Aiden's latest EP, Low Key High Strung, which is out everywhere now, even on Tidal.
Even on
Found
Tidal.
earlier today.
Even on Tidal.
It's beautiful.
Probably because
thing.
this is the first time that I clicked like upload to all on GyroStream.
Okay.
You know, normally I'm like slightly like adverse to giving Jay-Z money, but like
He's like rubbing his hands right now. He's just like, oh yeah.
Finally got Aiden.
Finally got him.
that's what I wanted. I wanted that Australian singer-songwriters collab EP. I can close down now. Everything's
Yes.
fine.
He's like singing Hola Jovito, like throwing up his money. I was playing Jay-Z in the car for Callan.
I wasn't enjoying
He
it.
wasn't enjoying it.
Oh.
I had to turn it off.
I hope that
Oh,
was
God.
particularly a bad album of his, because
I think
that was really bad.
I think it's particularly dated
Yeah.
but what
It
hasn't been,
hasn't aged well.
yeah, what hasn't been dated is Aiden Bradley's
Oh,
Brand new EP.
brand new EP.
I mean, I hope not. It's been 3 days.
Listen, man, I think it would have been good 3 days ago, but since then it's gone great.
Oh wow.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. What was it?
Getting at me with the praise tonight, boys.
Is there a specific track that took the longest or was the most difficult to complete? I feel like I know the answer.
You
to
do
this
know the
one.
answer to this one. It was Ignore Me.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that's like Alex went into this weird thing where he thought it was him when it was absolutely me. So there's a completely different version of that song buried deep on my computer somewhere. That he came around to record his vocals for,
Yeah.
and then he left, and then I scrapped the song that same afternoon because I realized I hated it. So I spent the next day demoing out like a completely different song. And I called him. I was like, "Hey, Alex, I need a favor. Can you come over and do your vocals again?" He's like, "Oh, were the takes not good?" I'm like, "Nah, it's a different song now." And he was so cool about it. He was so like chill
Yeah.
about it and everything. Which is,
So-
you know, like, thanks, Alex. I'm really glad about that. If you had said no, it would have sucked.
How is it different?
One day, years from now, I'll show you the old version.
Okay.
You
I will-
won't.
I feel like it's gonna be on My Song Suck, like surely.
Oh God, it already has been.
Oh really?
Oh, I just realized that. I just told people where they can listen to it. Oh God. Yeah, no, it has been on My Song Suck, which was weird because Alex and I were sitting there being like, "Why is my song garbage?" Oh, you're on it. Actually, he made that joke. I think he's like, "Why don't you like this song?" Alex was like, "Because it has me on it." And I'm like, "Oh no, Alex, no."
How could you hurt that man? He's a treasure.
He said that. I didn't
I know, I'm
say
joking.
it. Oh,
I'm just trying to
okay.
be meanie.
Okay. No, but he was super chill about the whole thing. And I'm really glad. It's like, I feel that it suits his music pretty well too.
Yeah.
Because there's sort of a bit of the, you know, the bigger sort of, I don't know, I get kind of little automaton vibes from the lyrics a little bit.
Yeah,
So,
I
you
feel
know,
that for sure.
I feel that it suits him
Mm.
pretty well. And I mean, he clearly agreed because he did it. So, I just,
Yeah.
but yeah, that probably would have been, yeah. The easiest song was probably Slow Motion.
Ah, okay.
I mean, Slow Motion was the last one that I wrote for the record.
Mm.
And originally I wanted strings in like the big section. But turns out strings players are really expensive, and it
Yeah.
costs like $1,400 to get them in a studio for like 2 hours. And I do not have that kind of money.
That'd be a good gig.
We have Ableton. Oh, sorry.
Well,
I gotta start learning strings, man.
So Finn, the string arrangement that I wrote, which was MIDI'd in the demo, Finn sat down with me, and because Finn's a genius, like arranger and composer, he was like, "I'm gonna write this for alto sax and euphonium. I'm gonna make it make sense for those instruments, and we'll spend a day recording it, and you just tell me what you think." And it was awesome, right?
Jeez.
And he's actually he plays euphonium on Slow
Wow.
Motion.
Okay.
And Connor Jedham, the bass player of my live band,
course.
is playing sax.
Also
which
a genius.
Yeah, also a genius. Also crazy genius people. Surround yourself with good people.
Mm.
So that was like a pretty big change in arrangement for the better, I feel. Because it's also like, strings are great, you know, but I like brass and I like
Who
woodwind,
doesn't?
you know, and it was like, it was something that I wouldn't have considered unless Finn pitched it to me. Like if Finn had never pitched it to me, then I would have just settled with the string samples and it would be a completely different song.
Yeah. Jeez.
But he didn't, you know, like he did. He hit me up and he was like, "We should try this." And I was like, "Yeah, sweet." And yeah, and it was sweet.
So the vibrant instrumentation wasn't your initial, I guess, desire. That's not what you saw originally.
No,
'Cause
it
it's
wasn't.
quite a wide arrangement.
Yeah, it wasn't what I saw originally, but I'm really glad it's there.
Yeah.
You know, it was because a lot of like, so the chords that are being played over that chords that I wrote, it's just Finn sort of made them make more sense because he thinks like someone writing an orchestral score, and I think like an idiot pop musician. So
I can relate.
yeah, well, and then he wrote some like cool little like flourishes and stuff like that into it,
Yeah.
which, you know, yeah, I mean, it just lends to the collaborative process. He had an idea that was better than mine, or he had an idea that I preferred to mine, and we went with it. And I feel like it's a stronger song for it.
Fair enough.
Do
And-
you? Oh,
No, go on.
You just nodded at me, so I thought I was taking the next question. But you go ahead, write it, Cal.
Did I nod at you?
Yes, with your eyes. Maybe you were winking at me. My bad.
I know it probably changes from day to day, but at least today, do you have a personal favorite from the EP?
You know, it's really hard to pick it. It's really, really hard to pick it because for a really long time, Mess Things Up, the song with Lily, was like my favorite to play live. Like I loved playing that song live. And then like I listened to Stupid Things, and I listened to like when the bass comes in that first chorus and the rest of the song kicks off and there's that drum fill and it comes in, I think that's awesome. And then like, you know, last chorus of Ignore Me, I feel is like, man, this is cool. Like there's a lot of stuff going on here. Like there's a lot of like semi sort of dissonant stuff happening, is great. But then, you know, Under Siege, you listen to the raps and it's just awesome. And it's completely unexpected. It's like the palate cleanser of the record.
Yeah,
You know, with Parlor and Audio Compass, it's like very different styles of rapping. And it's a very different song to everything else on the record.
True.
And then, you know, Slow Motion's the nice little thing that you think is going to be like this sort of chill little acoustic thing at the end. But then there's this huge bridge and everything gets like a little bit crazy. And like, I have so much like recorded material of like Jess and I just screaming over that bridge, like all the different like layers of vocals and stuff. Because I was like, with her, I was like, hey, just, I'm going to hit record, I'm going to loop it, just whatever comes to mind. And we did like 5 passes of that, and we just sort of cut the bits that we thought were really awesome. And then I did the same thing with mine, and that's like all those like layered vocals and stuff over like the ensemble.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like I can't pick a favorite. I can't, because I love all of them a lot. You know, like every time I think I've picked a favorite, like I listen back to one of the other ones, I'm like, nah, it might be this one though. So like, I really can't pick a favorite. I mean, I think like I wrote it to be listened to from start to finish.
Yeah.
So like that weird swell thing that comes up in the end to mess things up, which in hindsight I should have done like a single edit of to not have that. That's actually bleeds in to the organ swell of Ignore Me.
Mm.
That's how I wrote that.
Yeah.
I just think that's part of the reason I love EPs, you know, because it's like a short experience. It's like 15 minutes. You sit there, you listen to the whole thing from start to finish. It can be super thematic and not overstay its welcome. I think EPs are like my favorite way to consume music, you know, because like even my favorite albums, like Celebration Rock by Japan Droids, it's like a 35-minute album.
Yeah,
it's not
true.
long. You know, you sit there, you hit play. I mean, I've got it on 45, which is awesome. Thanks, Morgan. He got me that for Christmas. You set it up, you play it, you listen to it from start to finish. It's awesome. It's amazing. It's a great way to spend 35 minutes.
Yeah.
I'd so easily do that instead of watching a TV show.
Yeah.
You know, just like
fair.
sit on my bed with my headphones on and listen to like Celebration Rock or whatever. I
Mm.
really love that sort of thing. You know,
Mm.
it's the whole EP is my favorite. I love
Fair
it.
enough.
I love it.
Remind me at the end of the show. I got an album to recommend to you.
Oh yeah.
A short album to recommend.
Oh, yeah.
To you. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite local release of the year?
Of the year.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna rattle off a bunch.
Yeah.
Because I really like Flora Link's EP. I think that's really good. I played with Flora Link at Tiny Changes,
Mm.
the Frightened Rabbit tribute night, and like I always love when I meet people who like Frightened Rabbit, but they're all super cool. They were nice guys. Came up to me and like, "Hey, Siege is a banger." I was like, "Oh my god, thank you."
Thank you.
And they shared a release day with me, so we both released on the 22nd.
Oh, true.
And you know, they're doing really good stuff, and I like them.
Mm.
New Phoebe Sinclair slaps. OMG's great.
Oh, did she release some stuff?
Yeah, like I think 2 weeks,
Yeah,
3 weeks ago.
Because I remember you telling me that you were nervous if she released it on the same date.
Yeah, I was a bit. I mean, my last launch, the Stupid Things launch, was same day as Sam and Tiny Castle's launch, which was
Yeah,
intimidating. Speaking of Tiny Castle, that's really up there.
Composure.
yeah, Composure's a
That's an
banger.
awesome song.
I love that. I love it so much. And New Hey Baby's really good too.
Yeah.
I really like New Hey
Love
Baby.
and Drugs.
Yeah, I
It's a
really like
banger.
it. They're the ones that come to mind.
There's some good picks, man.
I mean, I think so. Brisbane had a good year.
It's doing all right.
Brisbane
man.
had a really good
Yeah.
year. Xander Rhodes, Byron Bay, really good too.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just thinking of a bunch of them now. Lockie Matthews' first single came out. I mean, I feel like, is that a conflict? I produced it. Is that
Okay,
a conflict
I
of
may have-
interest?
I think I missed that.
Yeah, it was good. It was really
That's
good.
cool.
We actually had to re-record that. We actually had to re-record that whole thing because the data got corrupted. Whoops.
No.
I've heard
But-
about that happening too many times.
Yeah.
this year, man.
I really hate it when like the impervious backup system fails.
Yeah.
That was really good. I'm just thinking of a bunch of them now. You know, like
yeah.
Brisbane had a really, really good year.
Yeah.
Brisbane
Honestly,
had a
it's-
phenomenal
it's,
year.
It's the best that I can remember.
Yeah, I
And
mean,
and like honestly, even looking at national and international, like so many of my favorite bands released albums. I've only been underwhelmed by a couple of them. So like
It's just
I've
been a
been
good
well
year.
and
Yeah, it's
truly
just
spoiled.
everyone's just wanting to get the best of the best out before the end of the decade.
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, it's been a good year for music all around. But I think
Incredible.
like Brisbane, something magical's happening in Brisbane.
Mm.
Brisbane
lot-
had a great year.
Yeah, a lot of Brizzy bands have been dropping like debut albums.
Yeah.
And they've all been great.
I mean, look at
from what
Fat
I've
Picnic.
heard. Yeah. I mean, Jensen's released an absolute
Jensen's did
masterpiece.
release
Cannondrome.
Cannon
I was
Drum.
Oh,
really
is it
surprised by that.
EP, but
Oh, sorry. I thought we were talking
it's
about
it's
EPs as well.
fantastic. It's still fantastic.
It counts. Alex Smith has been a busy boy.
Yeah.
Trigger, Align, and Rescue Me.
Oh yeah.
Jordan Merrick.
Jordan Merrick.
Yeah, Jordan Merrick.
Jordan
of
Merrick.
course. What an absolute
I've got
lord.
6 Red Chairs on my. I have a little curated playlist
Oh yeah.
on my Spotify. It's called Aiden Bradley's mixtape. Woo.
Nice.
Plug.
I've seen it.
Yeah, 6 Red Chairs is on there. Brendan the Bard.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, coming home. I mean,
course.
oh man, we could do this for hours.
Yeah.
Literally.
We could
can
do this
it.
for
We can,
hours.
we can do this for another hour and 20 minutes, technically.
yeah.
Good stuff. Brisbane had a great year.
Yeah.
I'm
But-
proud of Brisbane.
Completely. What else can we expect from you this year? More nice atmospheres.
Hopefully. This year, it's pretty much just gonna be.
Oh wait, did I say this year?
You did.
I meant in the not too distant future. My bad.
So like because this record took so long, like I've written a bunch of stuff. You know, there was times when I was like, this person's not free till like 2 weeks from now, so I can't really do a whole lot. So I just start writing. And I've written, I think I've got about 10 songs that I'd sign off on.
Jeez.
I think I probably wrote about 20, but I've got like 10 that I would like actually sit down and, you know, flesh out and sign off on. And I am like, it's like we were talking about before the show started. I was expecting to be super burnt out. I was expecting to be like, I need a break. This is exhausting. But like, I'm so ready to start demoing new stuff.
Yeah.
I'm so ready to get a release out in like the first quarter of next year. This is the most energized I've felt in like a year.
That's beautiful.
You know, like there was Boat Ramps came out and that was cool, and then I went on tour and that was cool. But there was like that weird lull period in between where I was like, should I commit fully to doing this collab EP? It sounds like it would be a lot of work. It sounds like it would be, you know, logistically really hard. And then I kind of I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. If it takes ages, whatever. It'll be worth it in the end. And I totally think it was. Just saying. And then I've just gotten a bunch of new stuff written, and I cannot wait to start demoing like a new EP for next year.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna there's a whole bunch of different stuff I'm gonna try as well. Like I'm gonna have live drums. I'm gonna be a lot more open to working with like other producers and stuff like that. I want a team. I'm gonna have a team behind me, and you know, I'm so excited, and I genuinely mean that. Like I stay up late thinking about it. You know, I cannot wait to make more music.
It's so beautiful, man. It's been real good to see you have some real positive times, man. You deserve it.
Thanks, man.
If you only had a few words to describe Low Key High Strung, which few words would you use?
God.
That's one.
We move as one.
Ooh, that's the first time I've heard a slogan.
That's beautiful.
I like it. I like it a lot.
Hayden, it's always a pleasure, man.
Man, I've had such a good time.